so that's great.
Where'd you get the ladder, bro? Where'd you even get the ladder?
Yeah, you put that back over there. Appreciate it.
What's going on here?
Yeah, it's got weird, man.
We can't sanction that. You know we can't sanction that.
Kayfabe was a way to show respect to the audience and respect your own business. It was a way to protect it. But to be the man,
All-Star 316 says I just whipped you.
we are the generation that eat. You make the rules, and we will.
Who is booking this crap? Oh boy. More of that. WWE stands for.
I am Mr. Richie Moon, and I'm Kayfabe Adrian, and I'm Kayfabe Focus.
Position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream runs to the top.
It's Kayfabe Avenue.
Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and all you smart marks, I am Mr. Richie Moon,
And I'm Kayfabe Agent.
And I'm Kayfabe Focus.
and this is Kayfabe Avenue, and this is the Wednesday Night War, the 5 Points of War. You know how it goes down on here. So first we give you the rundown of the show, and then we get into said 5 Points of War. This week in wrestling was crazy, guys.
Ridiculous.
Really great.
Crazy.
Between
awesome.
NXT's invasions, NXT had the week as far as WWE goes.
Yeah, definitely.
Invading SmackDown, invading Raw. Just a great show for them.
The Triple H Extended Universe is taking over.
Yep.
Yeah, and in full force.
Coined it.
Full force. Yep. Triple H even making appearances, acting as like the general of this Survivor Series themed war between NXT and the other brands.
Yeah, I mean, it makes
Really
sense.
good- really
I
good
think this is
show.
the first
Really
time we've really been really excited for Survivor Series
Oh,
in
definitely.
a long time. It's
Yeah.
just been kind of
Having all three brands compete against each other is great. I would have liked if they would have included NXT UK. You know, just as
I mean, they did a little bit on SmackDown, but like the initial, I know what you mean. Like the initial takeover was like the main NXT brand.
yeah.
I know what you mean.
I think it just adds that extra spark that we needed because Survivor Series, I think
It's
it's
flat.
been good,
It's flat.
but for the most part,
There's no
we already
reason.
know what to expect at this point. Adding the third brand is just a new mix of matches, so I'm ready for that.
NXT gives it. I feel like NXT gives it a reason.
But AEW this week,
Oh,
also very good show.
oh, that
Very
finish. Oh,
explosive.
that ending. Those promos.
No pun
man.
intended, but it was definitely explosive.
That was
It was elite. No, all puns intended. It was elite.
Yeah.
So let's get into the lineup of the show.
So we starting with NXT,
NXT.
we have Pete Dunne facing off against Damian Priest,
That was good.
Good match.
and he won that by submission. Then we have Tanara Conti, and she defeated Santana Garrett. It was a pretty good match. Moving on, we have Shayna Baszler, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
defeated Dakota Kai
Who
in
looked
a
really good.
non-titles match.
She looked really good in that match.
Yes.
Dakota Kai looked really good in that match. She's
Yeah.
starting to come up.
And then next we had a number one contenders match for the Cruiserweight Championship. We had Tony Nese and Angel Garza, but Angel Garza won that one.
That's my guy.
Then moving on, we have Dominic Dijakovic facing off against Isaiah Swerve Scott.
This is a really good match. You need to go see that. Go out your way to go see that.
And Dominic hit him with the Feast Your Eyes for the win. And then for the main event, we had the OC and versus Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Tommaso Ciampa.
Ciampa.
Well, they had to defend that honor with what they
Facts.
did to Undisputed Era.
Facts. The show opened with the OC out and they came out, cut a promo, and that's when that set up that main event. And then at the end of the show, they beat up the NXT. But we're gonna get to that. Let's go over to Wednesday Night Dynamite.
So over at Wednesday Night Dynamite, we had Pac defeating Trent
Boston
by pinfall. There was a little bit of a little botch from the referee,
Yeah.
or maybe Trent.
It was it was Trent. He was supposed to kick out, but no, actually,
that was ridiculous.
it was
The referee went for count. Trent was nowhere near looking like he was about to kick out. Referee went for the count and realized and stopped and just didn't even make it seem like there was any reason for him not to count. Like,
yeah.
blatant fuck up, and then Pac ends up having to reverse it into a submission.
Yeah.
Horrible. The AEW referees are definitely showing where the growing pains are. I don't know if Earl Hebner is the only experienced referee they have,
Nah, Aubrey.
but what's going on? Like, it's almost every episode or every show AEW puts out that we could call out something that it's the refs. The refs are supposed to be like seen but not heard, like there but not not really felt. The attention's supposed to be on the wrestlers.
There was a
Keep
miscommunication.
pulling us out of the matches.
There was a miscommunication because it was supposed to go to commercial break, and then they ended up rushing the match early. The match was supposed to go past the ad break, but everybody got that communicated except for the ref. That's the story. So, but still, as a ref,
You're supposed to know
count
these things.
He is supposed to know,
Count that
but
three.
also you're supposed to just count that 3. It's up to the wrestler to kick out. But please continue.
All right, moving on, we have Private Party. They defeated the Dark Order. Then we had Emi Sakura and Jamie Hayter versus Riho and Shahana by Shahana, right?
Shahana.
Shahana.
Yeah, Shahana. She's from France. I think she's from France. I think it's her they're putting over, and she just signed a multi-year deal with AEW, so they're reaching out for the women's. I like this. I like Shahana. She was on the show last week. I like Jamie Hayter. They're women. They're starting it's starting to come along slowly, but it's coming
Very
along.
slowly.
It's coming along.
I'm not a big fan of the AEW women's division. It has nothing to do with the fact that some of them can't go. The ones that actually can't go, they're not being spotlighted in the right way, I feel.
Yeah.
They're relying too much on the rankings for the women's division, and I don't think there's a lot of storyline development. The only story that we really have is Bea Priestley versus Britt Baker, which just finished, and who else? Rio and Nyla Rose, but that's over as well because of the tournament. So I think they need to start developing stories for these people,
They need to start putting them on being the elite too.
Yeah, that's one criticism I have of being the elite. They have to start filtering new faces and making sure that everybody gets highlighted. I feel like it focuses too much on the Bucks and the people directly around them. It needs to switch focus.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, we have Shawn Spears defeating Brandon Cutler, and then we have Le Champion, Chris Jericho, and the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara, defeating Kenny Omega and Hangman Page.
That was a good match due to the Boston Pac and a little bit of the love. You know what I'm saying? Finish it off with a little bit of that Judas effect. And then the finish of that show was just freaking crazy.
And then it ended up into an all-out brawl.
So let's get into it. So first off, we know that AEW did win the ratings war this week, but they just edged it out. It was really, really
This is
close.
the closest. This is the closest we ever had in the war so far.
And both of them
This
went
is
up.
week 5 we're
Both
covering
went up.
today, and this is the closest they've been. They've both been on the decline, but I think the momentum for NXT was the invasions
Facts.
from SmackDown and Raw. What happened at Saudi Arabia with Crown Jewel, the SmackDown roster couldn't even make it to the show, so NXT held down SmackDown with almost 2 to 3 million viewers.
Yeah, they did this because there was no FS1 the week before, which is a small market, 888,000. And Dynamite beat them that week, and then they boosted all the way up to 2.5. NXT is a big part to thinking that they definitely went up a lot. WWE does this classically. When their backs against the wall, they put out really good shows. Remember a couple of years ago when Roman got hurt and Kurt Angle had the cosplay in the Shield, and then we had Bray Wyatt got hurt, he was sick. Then it was the Demon versus AJ Styles for the first time. So when their back is against the walls, they put out really good shows. Maybe we just need to start messing up WWE travel plans.
Yeah,
And
Probably.
still put out better S words.
probably.
So, but yeah, AEW wins the first point of the war in the Wednesday Night Wars. So, gentlemen, what do you think was the best storyline of the night between the two shows? Focus. What do you think was the best storyline? We'll start with you. Good stuff.
I believe the OC versus the Undisputed Era is the best storyline right now. It's kind of intriguing seeing both of these clubs going after each other, and then having Finn Balor in the middle as the real rock and roller.
The real rock and roller. Prince is back.
So we'll see what happens. That's but that's just my opinion.
What about you, AJ?
I have to agree with him. Honestly, seeing AJ Styles and the rest of the OC on NXT for the first time, they are the only people that kind of bypass NXT in the past couple years. It's a fresh story. We have the kind of intrigue with Finn Balor. Will he join Undisputed Era? Is he kind of signaling that he's forming a union with the OC or understanding with them?
I mean, he came out.
AEW to me had great continuation of their storyline. This was like an impactful, what's gonna happen with the OC involved now. So I think, at my point, I'll give it to NXT. But that's taking nothing away from AEW. I feel like AEW storyline with Cody's promo and just the overall way it ended that night, which I'll get more into when we get to intrigue. But AEW definitely had good stories, but that OC thing was kind of unexpected.
Yeah.
I really like the OC coming to NXT. I really like this whole takeover invasion. I have to be super critical, and I am the way they did it. It's not what they did, it's how they did it. I feel like it was kind of flat, personally, for me, to just open up and just OC doing a promo. AOC should just came in and whipped ass, then did the promo. Beat everybody's ass, then did the promo. I mean, it was still a good main event in the end. Everything still ended. But for me personally, because I got to be hypercritical, both of them are such good shows, I'm actually going to go with AEW because of the continuation, the way everything ended up flowing with the promos, with the way it ended. That was a thread going through, and the way they just took their main event stuff, put it all together at the end with that pull-apart brawl, which was, it reminded me of like SmackDown. Like, that meme that goes around where everybody comes out and just does like their finishers, like Stone Cold, Rock, Big Show, Mankind.
Like, honestly,
you know what I'm saying? It just felt like that. Like everybody just came out.
I feel like the companies are watching each other while it's going on, because if you notice from the week previous, they had in our last episode we spoke about it, they kind of hit the same beats. The attacks and the pull apart brawls and stuff like that. AEW did that this week in the main event, and they did it this week with the OC. Like, I feel like they kind of watching each other, kind of trying to one up each other in a way. The AEW and NXT.
Cody's Con actually got asked about that. They said that they don't watch NXT.
That's not true. You have to say things like that.
Yeah.
You have to say it. This is. I'm pretty sure this is old school war. Like WCW, they used to watch the WWE product in the locker room, and so did WWE.
I think it would be a mistake to be reactionary. I really think.
Yeah, I mean,
so
both companies are kind of reactionary at this point, whether they like to admit it.
I think AEW is reactionary with their words, and so I don't think either of them, what they do affect their storylines. Me personally, I think they may send shots verbally, but I think as far as their storylines, I don't think it affects NXT or AEW. I think they do their thing anyway. They just talk shit. It's pro wrestling, people. Stop being so sensitive. It's pro wrestling.
It's kayfabe.
Anyway, so majority rules. So NXT wins this one. So we're gonna go for most intrigue for next week. What show made you want to turn in the most for next week? NXT or AEW? Asia, we're gonna start with you. What show made you want to turn in next week?
AEW. Just the way this was the go home episode before Full
The
Gear.
first ever go home
And
episode.
honestly, it felt like it was gonna finish like 6-7 times and just more chaos and more people coming out and more. There was about 4 different storylines colliding at the end of that show, building up the pay-per-view, and just Kenny Omega's V-trigger on the stage to box. It was like there was just so much going on. I thought, this is it. This is the end of the brawl, and it just kept one up and one up and one up, and he went off the air, still fighting, like giving that war feeling. And I had to give it to AEW because it made me more invested in watching Full Gear, and obviously Full Gear made me more invested in what's gonna happen going forward. So definitely, I'll give mine to AEW.
Focus. What about you, good sir?
I'll give it to AEW. I believe this Inner Circle stable is probably one of the best things that happened in a while. It's really highlighting the Pride and Proud Santana and Ortiz as legit tag team threats.
The Street Thugs.
The Street Thugs, the Boricuas.
The Boricuas. Dead ass, facts. That's dead ass right there.
And then you have the Spanish guy.
The Spanish guy.
Sammy Guevara.
Why Jericho's infatuated with Sammy Guevara?
He's so sexy. That's what Gordon Jericho is just so sexy. It's just you got the Midas touch, yo. He just everything he says is just like boom, see, just like that. A little bit of bubbly.
Might get a bubbly line from Jericho.
Might get a bubbly line from Jericho. I agree. I think AEW just had the most intrigue. Not to take anything away from NXT because that finish was crazy. I know it's crazy. I'm going for AEW, but the NXT finish was crazy. Balor came out at the end of all his brawls. OC versus Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Ciampa. Balor comes out. AJ's in the ring. Does it too sweet. He does the gun signs. Adam Cole comes, super kicks AJ. Then Adam Cole and Finn Balor smile at each other. Then Finn Balor gives a bloody Sunday to Matt Riddle on the ramp. So I'm not taking anything away from NXT, but AEW has just so much momentum in the way they put their storylines together.
But
it's just
NXT. I think that a lot of it hangs off the fact that Finn Balor is the originator of the Bullet Club, and having him in the mix with the attitude, the new attitude that he has, and there'll be no Undisputed Era if it wasn't for Finn Balor.
But he has
there'll be no OC if it wasn't for Finn Balor. So just a lot going on in NXT. So it's like when we do these shows, it's never a knock on the other. We try to give it fair opinion, but got on a shoot just the utter chaos and like it was. I had to give it to AEW.
Facts. So, what do you think was the best match of the night between NXT Live and Wednesday Night Dynamite?
Again, I just love that main event. So I'd say the tag team match that ended it.
I feel like NXT actually had the better wrestling, bell to bell wrestling. I mean, I feel like the story was better with AEW. But bell to bell wrestling, I feel like NXT took it as they often do. Not knocking on AEW because they have.
It's because AEW is more of a variety show, and NXT is more wrestling focused with occasional story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Kenny and Hangman versus Chris Jericho and
the Spanish guy.
Spanish guy. That's what I went with.
So majority rules. So AEW looks like AEW might take this. It looks like they really are. So best overall show, gentlemen. I'm actually going to start this off. Surprise, surprise, Le Champion. AEW. I mean, just you know what? I'm gonna just because I think it was the best overall show. I'm gonna pick up the negatives. Because before I get to the positives, you know what I'm saying? I do want to end it off on a positive. Like we said, it is up to the wrestler to kick out. Even though there was some miscommunication, the refereeing, their tag team matches, it really gets out of control. It's just like 5 minutes of tag team match, and both guys get in the rings, or both girls get in the ring, and then just go. There's no who's the legal man, who's the legal woman. Yeah. It's chaos.
Even saying that, JR last night was on it. Straight up was saying, Who's the legal man?
But what I will say that he actually missed that because he missed a tag. Because I remember which spot you're talking about, and Matt did tag in Nick, and the refereeing at Full Gear was better. It was better. It wasn't great.
It wasn't. But it was better. It was noticeably better.
They're listening to us.
I'm telling you, they're consistent with the watches, and coming from a ref perspective, you're supposed to interfere in the moments that to help orchestrate the next phase of the match, not to ruin or alter the plan. It's not the NFL and NBA. No shots at them, but the referees in that sport often, be the good deciding factors to that. But let's definitely talk about the positive. I mean, that Cody promo. I mean, I think honestly,
I felt that shit in my soul.
It was a great promo. I think it's a bit overrated from what they say, because Cody hits these notes on his promos all the time. References father, and it's the same style. The reason I respect it so much is because it's real. It feels organic. Everything he's saying is true. And then saying Dick on TV is not, oh my God, he said Dick, but it's
the way he said
it is they curse on AEW, which is something we don't get at all from WWE.
But it's done in a way that makes sense, though.
It makes sense for the story. It's not just thrown out there, hey, we can curse, so let's just do slurs on TV all the damn time. Yeah. It was used right. He had The Rock had the perfect tweet in response to Cody's promo. The cadence, the tone, anything, and the realness of it.
Facts.
Great promo, and I think that's what shot up AEW this week and boosted the ending. Cody colliding at the end, and everybody, the Bucks, the Elite standing together. I
think the perfect contrast to that was then Jericho's response in that promo, because it was so funny, and it was just like, because Cody's was so serious and passionate, but the response was just
him sitting in the tub with a scarf and his hat,
spitting out the bubbly
with a little bit of the bubbly.
He's the problem in his career. He's the youngest AEW champion ever, and at that time he was 48. His birthday was yesterday, so he's 49. Like, that's even funny.
The part that he was like kind of zoning out, and Sammy Guevara was like telling him the different flavors of the bubbly.
He gets up and just kisses him on the side of his.
They zone into Jack Hager.
Just says nothing.
He just says nothing in every.
But he was right though. He was right though. Jack Hager was right though.
He was right.
So
he was right. What about?
That was a great promo by Jack Hager.
Oh my gosh!
I think it's probably like the best one he had.
Probably is. It probably is.
What was his name? Oh my gosh! What is Virgil's name?
Soul Train
Jones. Excuse me. Who's Virgil? Soul Train Jones, man. Just going to Olive Garden, just telling stories about Chris Jericho. He's not a farmer, but he knows that Chris Jericho is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, Jericho's just hilarious at this point. Literally everything, he was right, because the Midas gold, the Midas touch,
man.
Everything he touches turns to gold. He was not lying, and that promo reflecting Cody, making fun of Cody's promo, definitely good.
One of my favorite lines from that, he said, I neglected to mention, you can go on Amazon for $3 and find a Lionsgate. And if you neglected to remember, it must have been so hard for you to grow up as the son of a famous hockey player. It's like we share the same silver spoon, you stupid dick! Oh my God!
And we're gonna get demonetized because of that.
Facts. Well, we might as well just keep going. I didn't do this for me. I didn't do this for my sister. I did this for my mom. I did this for the 14 years. I went from undesirable to goddamn undeniable. That shit, I felt that shit in my heart. We're making fun of it, but it was awesome.
That's the thing. It's true words, but he's literally said that before.
Yeah,
these are beats that he's literally hit in past promos. You've been watching and following Cody, so that's why I feel like his promo is a little overrated, but it was a perfect promo. It was well delivered, and it was effective.
Yeah.
But is it pipe bomb CM Punk worthy? I don't really think so, but it was good. It was good. I'm not trying to be negative.
No, I feel you. As that pipe bomb thing ages and what CM Punk is doing now, I kind of look at that promo a little differently. But that's another conversation for a whole other time.
We saw that coming.
Yeah, that's a whole
far.
So
we've been saying it for years.
That's a whole other conversation. We should talk about that in another show. But overall, AEW takes the
takes
5 points of war. 5 points of war. AEW's been killing it, man. I mean, NXT has been too, but this momentum that AEW was on is just. To me personally, I'm an actor. I just like stories that like I can just really sink my teeth into, and that's what AEW does for me. I wish they spread that same love across all of it, because Rio and Emi Sakura definitely needed that, because they only put it over on commentary that Emi Sakura was Rio's mentor. They wrestled each other 286 times.
Wow.
Why did they not put that in the video package? The wider audience needs to know that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they need to start doing that. The same things they do it for the men, do it for the women. They're not getting enough shine, and
they're not.
You know, the people that they focused on recently, I don't really think they're it. I don't think they're the ones that are gonna make the division mean something in AEW.
I mean, they're good hands, but I don't see any chance.
Hey man, people get smashed in the face for saying something.
Yeah. Don't become the next victim of the chairman.
Chairman. But you know that we can do this all day. NXT and AEW. Wednesday nights are the best night in wrestling. Monday or Friday. Ooh! But, AJ, where can they find you?
At kayfabe_AJ on Instagram.
Folks, where can they find you?
At kayfabe_focus.
You can find me at Richie Moore. You can find me at Kayfabe Avenue. Join our face group on Facebook, Kayfabe Avenue. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Kayfabe Avenue. We don't really do the Twitter. I'm pretty sure one day we'll do it. But, you know what I'm saying? We're on Instagram. Somebody. Exactly. We'll hire somebody to do that. But with that being said, Kenny, take us home.
Goodbye. And good night. Bang!